Hi guys, I recorded a whole video, but for some reason the resolution was really small, so I'm going to redo it. I don't want to redo the whole thing. Hi guys, it's me Mike. I'm back with another devlog. I've tried to set things up okay here. It seems like I have to rearrange my whole desk every time I want to record a video. But I'm going to try look in the camera and give you an update on all the Bru Boegie things that's happening. To start with, guys, I wanted to show you this amazing thing Louise, my wife, made. Look at this Bru Boegie diorama. Inspired by Bru Boegie the movie, where Bruce spends 90 minutes meditating trying to think of a good idea for their animated movie. Beautifully made. It's my boys IRL in real life. Classic. 10 out of 10, Louise. Thank you for this. Wait, before I do that, for the Bru Boegie movie, can you check it? It's Bru Boegie the movie, guys. Now that you've seen that one, I want to show you something else. Bru Boegie Meteorite, guys. It's coming out, I don't know when. I'm busy getting it into animation festivals. It's a new 10-minute animated short. But enough about Bru Boegie that aren't game stuff. I want to tell you about the games. So I recently completed a first Steam Next Fest, which is a Steam festival of new games and demos. Bru Boegie Episode 1 took part. And it was pretty good. I got about 500, 700 wish lists. I think 530 or something. The game had about 1,200. So it's almost 50% of my wish lists that got extra, which is really good. I think that's why people suggest only doing Next Fest when you have about 2,000. A lot more people played the game, which is great. And it's launching in a week. Can you believe it? It launches in a week. Less than a week. On the 29th it launches. Today's Thursday. It launches next Wednesday. So how am I feeling? I'm feeling quite excited. I'm nervous and excited because I started this game like a year ago in the UK. Louise and I went on holiday. And one day I was just walking around listening to the history of Blizzard, which is a gaming company. They made Diablo and StarCraft and stuff. Anyway, I went into an Edinburgh coffee shop, had a delicious coffee. I had an A4 piece of paper and a pen with me, and I started writing down the first puzzles of the Bru Boegie game. And so it's been basically a year in the making. And so I get to kind of close the circle on that soon by releasing it into the world, even though it's had an itch launch already. Which went really well. It got featured on itch, and it was like 34,000 browser players or something. Had a lot of interest. This will be the first time it's going up for sale, which is kind of a big deal. It's $4.99 in terms, $4.99. And I'm just hoping people buy it and enjoy it so I can make some bucks. Yeah. And, I'm working on the second game, which is going pretty well. And then I want to make basically 3 games in this Bru Boegie trilogy to complete the overall story of him maybe getting a cup of coffee. So the first one's get the milk. Second one, get the sugar. Third one's get the coffee. So yeah, this will be a litmus test to see if people buy the game. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not expecting massive numbers for this first game. It is quite a short game. It's about an hour, half an hour if you go quite fast. If you know everything, you can even do it quicker. First game, I'm pretty pleased with the scope, and I've added quite a bit of polish since the itch version. So the Steam game has a couple little bugs, figs, nothing major. Luckily, I really did my, quite a lot of testing before the itch version went live, so everything worked. But there's stuff like you know, quitting during the game goes back to the menu now, and I checked all the audio snapshots. There was maybe a bit too much reverb outside the house. So little things, and you know, Bru, I won't give it away, but in one puzzle he picks up an object where before you had to go back and pick it up, so that tripped a couple people up. Yeah, so I think I might also take the Steam demo down just the day before the release, since I believe having a demo up can lead to lower sales, and it's such a short game. The demo is pretty generous. It gives you pretty much half the game. So I think it's been up for long enough. I might leave the itch demo up, but by far the best way is to play it on Steam, where it's downloaded to your computer. You get a Steam achievements, you get cloud saves, and then I'm also going to be releasing the Dairy Deluxe Bundle, which is the game soundtrack and the game for 20% less price. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so all these things have been leading up to this final point of releasing the full game for sale. I've learned a lot. I'll tell you what I learned. Some of the stuff off the top of my head is firstly learning how Steam works. It's quite a hectic back-end system. I mean, there's menus that you got to try remember where stuff goes where. It's quite a process even learning how to upload a build to Steam. I found a post on Reddit that explains it with a command prompt. So you get all these VDF text files, and you put your game's content in the folder, and then at least in Mac you kind of go to terminal and you run a command prompt, then it pushes all the files up to your repository, which they call depots, and then you choose whether you want to put the depot public or on a beta branch. So all of that process is something I guess someone just has to learn if they want to sell a game on Steam. So that was cool. Cloud saves, also learned how to do that. It took me a while. Not just cloud saves, but cross-platform cloud saves. So when I tested it, it worked. You can play on PC, and then when your game is saved and then you pick it up on a Steam Deck or Mac or whatever, the saves get downloaded from the cloud next time you play, so you can just pick up where you left off. It's not massively imperative for this because it's quite a short game, but it's a nice quality of life thing to have. So there was a bunch of stuff like that I wanted to just figure out for this first one, because I think it'll be useful for later on. So yeah, for the second game, I've spent quite a lot of time, I'd kind of call it vertical progress, so not really making too much progress on actually getting a playable demo, but there's a lot of stuff I didn't know, stuff like Unity UI, which has always been a bit of a mystery to me. UI is user interface, so things like buttons and menus. Yeah, and while Adventure Creator has its own built-in menu stuff, which is very easy to use, at least it's quite a lot more intuitive than Unity's own system. I just wanted to learn Unity UI to figure out how to, you can do more stuff like little pop animations on buttons that you can't really do on Adventure Creator's menus. So the first game I used Adventure Creator's own menu system, which is very serviceable, but I just wanted to add a bit more polish for the second one. And you know, if you pick something up, it pops up in your inventory bar automatically, and this time Bru's going to have like a journal, I think, where he writes his thoughts, which will kind of function as a hint system. So every time he does that, your little journal will pop in the inventory. A nice little touch. I keep these little scraps of paper where I write my notes and stuff on. So yesterday I went for coffee and designed another background for the back of the beach where you go there. So that's a work in progress. And that's about it. For Steam Next Fest, thanks very much to the streamers who let me use their videos. I had a live looping, or a pre-recorded looping stream to my Steam page, just so if anyone went there, they would see broadcast. Yeah, Gray still plays. Someone, I think his creative director, bought the game for him shortly after the itch launch, did a video, and it got like a huge number of views, over 700,000. So he kindly let me use the video, as well as Yippee-Ki-Yay Mr. Falcon, who did another great vid, and then Cub Scouts as well. They also did a super video. I only got permission halfway through the process for Cub Scouts, and then there was a problem uploading a new video to RoboStreamer. So unfortunately, Cub Scouts 1 only got up in the last day of the Steam Next Fest. Good visibility for the game. A year in the making. I'm relieved and looking forward to having the launch done, because it's kind of been quite a big build up to that. You know, I've sent a bunch of keys out to various press blogs, cold calling as a new studio. I don't expect to get too much traction, but anything is a bonus. I've got what I think will be a cool interview with the Adventure Game Geek coming out probably just right about the launch of the game. Geekgasm gave it a really nice 8 out of 10 review, but I've sent it, you know, to the big names like IGN, Kotaku, Destructoid, Rock Paper Shotgun, etc. So if any of them cover the game, I will be amazed and stoked. I haven't managed to get my trailer on IGN. I was hoping to make a second trailer, a Steam launch trailer, and then maybe send it to IGN with an exclusive option so that they can have exclusive rights to screen it. Maybe I'll be inspired to do that before the launch. A lot of streamers, you know, leading up to the launch, I get emails to mcdogstudio@gmail from people saying, I'm the so-and-so streamer, I'd love to cover your game. But it's quite difficult to verify people sometimes if they're just wanting free keys and aren't actually the people they're claiming to be. But most of them seem fairly legit, so there's not a massive downside other than losing keys that might be resold. If people want to play the game, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I've sent a bunch of those out. It'll be interesting to see what the results of those are. I've tried Keymailer. That's a free service demo that they have. It's not a free service. You got to pay if you want the premium features. Quite a few people streamed it, I think, on Twitch, but it's like quite micro streamers, so there wasn't massive views on any of those, which is fine, I guess. Yeah, and I don't quite know what else I could do. There's a little bit. I've tried to advertise on Reddit a bit. I did like a $5 a day thing for a couple of days, which was pretty cool. It got some, I forget the exact, CPM or whatever, click-through rate, but I definitely got some interest and quite a few wish lists from that. I might consider just advertising daily on Reddit leading up to the game's launch. Yeah, just excited to finally launch it. Yeah, at the moment, I like making the games. I'm actually been making some pretty good progress with episode 2, so I'm tempted to just carry on with that, but I think I'm better support episode 1's launch to make sure that goes off as well as it can. If you haven't wishlisted the game already on Steam, please do. And if you're just waiting to buy it, next Wednesday is just around the corner. If you do play it, please leave a review. Hope you enjoy it. And thank you hugely for the support. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to bring episode 2 to life, and then episode 3, which will be my first 3 solo launched games. I guess in other news, I made like a little pixel game jam game for South African Game Jam that won 2 prizes. It shared the best humor prize and it won the best sound, so that's nice. It's available to play on itch for free. It's called Mons. The theme of the jam was You Are the Monster, and in Mons you're a kaiju and you just tear through a city while making apologies because you forgot your car keys that you got to try find. And then there's a tiny little twist in there, and it's a very short experience, if you can even call it a game. But yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Really wanted to test the pixel art thing because I might at some point make a pixel art point and click. Thanks again to Chris Burton, who made Adventure Creator. He's been incredibly helpful. for all the questions that I've had, especially for this episode 2 game where I'm trying to do things a bit differently to make the game better. So there's quite a few custom scripts that do stuff that aren't really kind of built into the engine, and I'm not really a coder, so I need all the help I can get, and he's just been so helpful and kind with his time. So if you've never made a game but you like point and click adventure games and you want to make a game, consider Adventure Creator. It's a great engine that runs in Unity. Yeah, I can highly recommend it. Okay, well, I think this will be the last video I make before the game's launch, so let's do it. Nice.
Oh, yeah.